Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Technical Tuesdays. We'll just wait a few moments, let a few other people jump on this live stream, but I'm really excited about today's topic. So just give it a couple of moments, guys, and we'll get started here. All right, we'll get into it then. So today's topic is how to sell your property for 100K more than the market. Okay. Now, in order for me to talk about this topic, I need to give you an example. I need to give you something that we've tangibly done that's produced a result for one of our clients, which is our vendor, that we actually sold their property 100 grand more than what the market was at the time. So the example of this is basically we had this property in the western suburbs of Adelaide. Okay, what we did was we had a ton of groups through the open inspection. We had a ton of interest on it, etc., etc. We asked every single buyer that came through that property, where do you think this property is worth? What we did was for the first week we didn't have a price guide on the property. We're trying to gain feedback from the buying public to see where price was with this type of property. Everyone that came through that property was saying, between 330 and basically between the 310 to 340 type of mark. Okay, so that was the consensus. We delivered this information back to our vendor. Our vendor wasn't in the position to sell at those price points. They really needed a bigger number to make it sort of work for them. We said to them, look, this is where the market's basically at, but we will do everything in our absolute power to produce the best result possible. Okay, it's not our job as agents or even your job as the vendor to dictate where price is. Basically, it's what the market's willing to pay. Okay, now our job as the agent, which we disclosed to the vendor, was to provide the very best situation and scenario to get as many people through that property as possible, hoping that if we have enough people through the property, we have enough people that like the property, we create a scenario of competition, and competition creates urgency. Urgency creates record prices. So that's exactly what we did. We spent a ton of money on marketing the property, not your traditional sites, realestate.com, domain, stuff like that. Yes, we were on all of them, but we also done a ton of Facebook advertising, video marketing. We also done a lot of peer-to-peer type of marketing. So we put it out to all of our partners, our accountants, planners, brokers, financial service businesses, anyone who might have a client that this property would be a perfect fit for. So come the marketing campaign, what we did was we basically opened up the doors. We opened on a Saturday. We exposed the property 2 to 3 times per week. So we had open inspections 2 to 3 times per week. And overall, in the lead up to the auction, we had 44 groups through. So this was a great result so far, but the consensus was it was around about the 310 to 340 mark. Everyone was saying around that range. So what we did was we're leading closer to auction. We prepared our vendors. We told them exactly where they needed to be in terms of where the price, where the market was, etc. But we did say to them, hey, look, come auction day, we're going to spare no expense. We're going to go absolutely completely out. We're going to put signboards in every single corner. We're going to try and drive as much traffic to the auction as possible, hoping that if we get a big enough crowd at the auction, there's the emotional buyer in the atmosphere that's willing to pay whatever it takes to sort of get the deal. So that's what we did. Come auction day, we basically set up a scenario where we put signboards in every single corner. Okay, we spared no expense. We basically went all out on the property. Come auction day, we had lots of registered bidders and whatnot, but most of the bidders, we already knew them, except for this one couple. This one couple, we did not meet at all through all the open houses. They simply came off the signboard on auction day, first time through the property, looked at the property, said, yes, I like it, stood out in the front yard and bidded the price up all the way up to where we sold it at $410,000. Now, let me leave that with you for a second, okay? Nathan, how can you sell the property for so much more than what everyone else was willing to say it was worth? The fact of the matter is that person was the emotional buyer that we were looking for. That person saw themselves bringing up their family in that property, saw themselves living there forever. To overpay 10% for that property, for them to have the feeling of, hey, my kid's going to grow up there, we're going to send them to school down the road, we're going to do this, we're going to grow a family here. They were willing to pay that extra 10%. They were willing to pay whatever it took. I spoke to them after and they said we were prepared to go up to $450 if we had to. So that is what the agent's job is. Now, if you're working with an agent and an agent tells you, no, you can't be priced there, can't have the position there, the property's not worth that, etc., okay? That's not their job. Their job is to create an atmosphere where the property gets exposed on multiple levels across multiple avenues to get as much foot traffic through the property as possible, and create a vision for that person that's going to come through, be the emotional buyer, and pay a premium. Okay. Now, does this happen all the time? Not every time, but it does happen a good portion of the time if you know how to position properties correctly. Okay. So if you are working with an agent and the agent's telling you you're overpriced, no, you can't sell at that. Oh, the market's here. Look at all the comparables down the road, etc. Yes, they are all factors. They all do make a difference, okay? And depending on what your situation is, if your situation is you need to sell in 30 days, well then yes, you need to be in line with that market and where people are willing to buy in that area. But if your situation is a little bit different and you're looking for that ultimate price, then the approach needs to be completely different once again. You need to sit down with an agent and basically go through the whole process of them putting together a marketing campaign that's going to get as many people through the property as possible, and create a situation where you can get that ideal buyer that's willing to pay that premium because they can see a future in that property, okay? We do it all the time. Basically, women, that handbag, it was on sale, right? Men, that motorbike, that boat, we had to buy it, it was on sale, of course. What we do as human beings, we buy based on emotion and we justify it with logic. That is the simple truth of all human psychology. We're all the same. We all buy and sell exactly the same. Property's no different. Despite how many people might tell you, oh, real estate's completely different. Real estate is no different. Real estate is exactly the same. Human beings will buy based on emotion. So, with that being said, guys, how do you take a few tips out of this and apply it to your own property strategy when you're selling your own property? Whether you're working with another agent and you're going to give them tips and tricks, or whether you're looking for an agent that can apply these strategies, feel free to reach out to me. But let's get a few tips. So number one is market on as many channels as possible. Spare no expense when marketing. Yes, you want to be on your main realestate.com, domain, all these type of avenues. But you also want to explore with Facebook advertising, Google AdWords. You want to do multiple streams of marketing channels, okay? Now, a lot of agents might not be equipped or might not know enough about Facebook advertising or Google AdWords. So this is where you might want to work with someone who is at the cutting edge of this type of stuff, because these avenues are super underpriced attention right now. We're getting crazy amounts of views and eyeballs to our properties for literally cent clicks. It's literally crazy. We are working this space tremendously, and our vendors are getting phenomenal results for literally half the marketing budget, but getting triple the reach. It's incredible. So that would be number one. Number two would be get your agent on side. Get your agent to believe in the phenomenal price out there. Make sure their mindset's right. If they're an agent that's doubtful, they're always telling you the negatives, always saying, oh yeah, the buyers are coming through, saying the kitchen's small, this is bad, this is bad. You already know they're in a down state. You already know that their only objective there is to get the property to a price where someone will buy it so they can make a commission. Whose interests are they really looking after? That's something you need to ask yourself, okay? So number two is you got to get your agent or whoever's selling the property. If it's you that's selling the property personally, then you got to get sold yourself on that price is out there. You just got to create a scenario and a situation to achieve that price. Number three would be to combine basically an off-market strategy with an online strategy, okay? An off-market strategy would be when you are doing open houses, okay, you want to put as many signboards out to create that foot traffic that might not have typically came to your property, okay? You would be very surprised how many people out there are sitting on $400,000, $500,000, $700,000 of cash, sitting in the bank, earning less than 2%, okay? They walk in, they think property's really good value, and they pay for it. They put the offer in, never been through the property before, put an offer in, buy it, and pay for it in cash. We've seen it time and time again, had tons of buyers that have done it. It's all because we created a situation where we could get enough people through the property, okay? We turn cold traffic, which is basically people coming out for coffees, going to restaurants and stuff like that, driving by, seeing signboards, pulling in, taking a look through the property, going, hey, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Okay, so that would be the third tip. Okay, so let's go through them again quickly. Number one is spare no expense on marketing. Okay, advertise on every possible avenue possible known to man. Okay, realestate.com, domain, all the big real estate websites. Okay, but Get a lot of exposure on Facebook advertising, Google AdWords, even YouTube ads, okay? Anything that are these new methods, these new age technology methods that you can use to put your message, put your market, put your property in front of the right people. Facebook advertising is perfect for this. Facebook advertising lets us target anyone. It can be married couples with 2 kids that live, 4 kilometers from here, that, earn 200 grand a year combined, that's looking to sell their property. That's how detailed we can get with Facebook advertising. So one last thing I'll also add is create a profile avatar. Sit down with your agent at the very start and figure out who would be the ideal buyer for this property. Is it going to be a married couple? Is it going to be a bachelor? Is it, what type of property are we selling, okay? That's the ideal thing. And then you work backwards from there and you figure out what marketing channels are going to be ideal, okay? Don't do a one-stop shop marketing approach. Every property is different. Some properties require videography. Some properties, just more photography, okay? Some properties need to be on realestate.com. Some properties may even work better on Gumtree, depending on the price point, depending on the market, depending on where you're at. Let's quickly go back and reiterate the last two. The last two, basically what we're looking at doing is, okay, we combine an off-market strategy with an on-market strategy, okay? And number 3 is get your agent on side, okay? Get them sold to believe that there is a phenomenal price out there. They may have to work overtime. They may have to call every lead over and over again, okay? But they need to be sold that the price is out there. Make them work for the commission, okay? The price is out there. You can achieve the price. You just need to know how to position yourself correctly, okay? With that being said, guys, that is how we have been able to achieve over $100,000 over market value for one of our vendors, and how you can take those 3 simple strategies, okay, to achieve sale price of properties 10% above market value time and time again, okay? Be sold that record prices are out there. Record prices are only record prices because someone created them in the first place, okay? So be sold and make sure that you advertise on every possible channel possible for your property, okay? Whether you're selling it personally or whether you're using an agent, a lot of the time you're going to have to educate some of these older school agents that really don't understand this new age technology that we're dealing with, okay? So you might have to get sold first on it and then basically transfer that information to your agent. So with that being said, guys, that's another episode of Real Estate Technical Tuesdays. If you have another question, send it through to me, okay? Just put it in the comments below on this live stream or send me a direct message and I'll be sure to answer it in one of the coming episodes in the next few weeks. So with that being said, guys, have a great day, take care, and all the best with your real estate journey.